All right, so today we're going to talk about slope. Slope is what degree how a line is either going up or down. Okay? For example, if I have a graph, that's why I handed out the graph paper. Let me do this. Let me get an actual blue. You obviously do not need to draw this because it handed out the graph paper to you. Okay, now let's say I have that coordinate plane right there. Okay, and on that coordinate plane we've put a line. Okay, let's say the line goes from this point there up to this point here. Okay, now I'm going to connect those 2 points. Try to do a little better than that. Okay. Now it's sort of hard to draw a straight line with a glass surface, and see if I can do it a little better without having to put a, oops, I just erased the point altogether. That's not good. Yeah. No, you'll have to do it at the end of class. Okay. Let's say that's our line. Okay, and they want to know the slope of that line. Well, first of all, when you're looking at slope, you're looking at how we read from left to right. Okay, you're looking from left to right. If the line goes uphill, okay, if the line goes uphill from left to right, in other words, here's our graph, the line goes like this, that would be positive slope. If here's your graph, and the line goes like this, that would be negative slope. Okay? Now, that's if we're looking from left to right on both of these. The other way we talk about it sometimes is if you're moving from left to right, if you're walking downhill, it's negative slope. If you're walking uphill, it's a positive slope. Okay, so obviously if someone was walking up this line like that, that would be a positive slope. If they were walking from left to right here on this line, that would be a negative slope. Okay? We'll talk about horizontal slope and vertical slope here in a second. Okay? But basically what we're doing is we've got to see what the change is from this point here to this point there. Okay? We've got to figure out what the change is. We can't go straight there. Okay, you can go straight there, but that's this part right here. What we want to know is what is the run, the horizontal distance, and the rise, the vertical distance. Okay, rise is equal to vertical distance. Okay, run is equal to horizontal distance. Run. So you run upwards? Do you run to the sky? How do you run? You run horizontally. If I rise, that means I jump. Do I jump horizontally? No, I jump vertically. Rise is vertical. Run is horizontal. Okay? I probably would. Okay, now, what our points are is this point right here. That point is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is -4 and -2. That's what the coordinates of that point is. -4 and -2. Our other point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, see 5, so that's 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So our other point, the coordinates of it are 5 and 4. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the left, so it's negative. 1, 2. I went down 2, so it's negative. That's from chapter 6, coordinate plane. Okay? Now, I just give you those numbers so you can put it on your graph that I've given you. It's the only reason I give you those numbers. You don't need those numbers to figure slope. I'm just giving you those numbers so you can draw the exact same line on the graph page that I've given you. Okay? If you don't want to draw it, that's your decision. Okay? Just like it's your decision whether or not you do your homework or not. That's your decision. I can't go home and force you. Okay? So, run. Run is the distance that I go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the run for this is equal to 9. I went 9 spaces to the right. Is right positive or negative? Positive. When we move right on the number line, we're going in a positive direction. Then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines up. So the rise would be equal to 6. Now, the slope formula. Slope is equal to the rise number over the run number. So that means for this line, slope is equal to 6 over 9. Does 6 over 9 reduce? What does it reduce to? 2 over 3. So slope is equal to 2 over 3. So that is the answer to this problem. The slope of that line is equal to 2 over 3. Okay? You could have done the slope, you could have done the rise over run over here as well. Okay? You're still going to get, if you do it over here, you're still going to get 8 there and 6 there. Okay? You're trying to form a triangle between the 2 points that they gave you on the line. Okay, now, if that line was going the other way, if it was going downhill the same area, then that would be a negative slope. Okay? Let's look at one that has a negative slope. Let's go. I'm going to do one with the steeper slope. We're going to go right here is one point. Right here is the second point. Those points are going to be connected by a line. Hopefully somewhat straight line. Okay. Now, as you move from the left to the right, this is a negative slope because you're going downhill from left to right. In other words, if I was a person and I was walking on this line, I would be walking downhill. Therefore, it is a negative slope. Okay? All right, it's a negative slope. Now we have to figure out what the slope, not the snope, but the slope. We have to figure out what the slope is. So to do that, we have to look at this triangle formed between the 2 dots, between the 2 points. Okay? Now, once again, I can start here and go this way and up, or I can start here and go this way down and to the left, or right, excuse me. I can go to the left and up, or I can go down and to the right. Either way, it does not matter. I can also, if I wanted to, I could do this. I could use the top part. I could go up and to the left, or I could go to the right and down. Doesn't matter which one I use, I will come up with the same slope regardless. Okay? This over here, this is the rise. This is the run. The change in the distance horizontally from one point to the other is the run. The change in the distance from one point to the other vertically is called the rise. So I'm going to simply do this. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. I went 4 places to the left. So that means my run is equal to -4 because I went left. Left is negative, right is positive. Then my rise would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And that would be going up. Up is positive. Heaven is positive. Satan's home, negative. Okay? So therefore I go up 6. So the rise is equal to a positive 6. Well, if I take 6 over 4, slope is equal to the rise over the run. Okay, remember, slope equals rise over run. So slope here would be equal to 6 over -4. That reduces. Slope would be equal to, well, I'm going to reduce by 2 over 2. 2 goes into that 3, 2 goes into that 2, and that's -2. And so the slope is equal to -3/2. And that is your answer. Now, I will show you that you'll get the same thing on the other side. If I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up is positive, correct? So that would be the rise 6. Then I don't count this one. I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the run is to the left, so that would be -4. Okay, and so you have 6 over -4. Isaiah? Why is 3? That negative there is because I am moving to the left. Doesn't matter. -3 over 2, -3/2, and 3 over -2 are all the same answer. We've stated that before. Doesn't matter where the negative sign is put, it will still be the same answer. Trinity?
Can the run ever go on top, or doesn't matter if the rise is on the top or if the run's on the top?
You tell me. Would 2 over 3 and 3 over 2 be the same number? So it does matter. Yes, the rise always has to be on top. Yeah. Yeah, you can't flip those two. You can't flip the rise and run. Okay, rise and run are simply that. Rise is the vertical, run's the horizontal, and they must be in that fraction. It's like a ratio. Basically, all slope is a ratio of the vertical change over the horizontal change. That's all slope is. It's just a ratio that you need to reduce and keep it as a fraction. You will notice here that I didn't put -1.5. That's what 3/2 is a mixed number, is 1.5. I didn't put that. I said 3 over 2. Okay? So make sure you understand that. It's 3 over 2, not 1.5. Okay? Because it's a ratio. Okay? Let me write that down for you. Slope is the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. Okay, slope is the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. So you have the vertical change and the horizontal change, and there's your two that we talk about as a ratio. Okay, and that is where they get the formula rise over run, or rise to run. Okay. All right, let's talk about the other two types of slope. Okay. If I have okay, if I have a line that's like this, let me go ahead and make it a true line. Okay, the slope here is equal to 0. The slope of that line is equal to 0. Okay, there is a difference between 0 and what I'm fixing to tell you about vertical lines. Okay, a horizontal line has a slope of 0. A vertical line has no slope. Okay, a lot of people say it's undefined. Okay, but it's no slope. There is a difference between 0 slope and no slope. A slope of 0 and no slope are not the same. So this would be no slope. Okay, a true vertical line doesn't tilt either way. Because all it takes on either one of those lines, all it takes for me to have a, for example, if I have this line right here, okay, and right there, that's a horizontal line. But all I have to do is this. See if I can get it selected again. All you have to do is tilt that line one little bit, and that line goes from a horizontal line to now it's got a little slope to it. Now, it's a very small slope, so that may be like 1 over 20, okay, because it only moves one box for every 20 that it goes this way, okay? And the smaller the fraction, the less of the tilt of the line. No. And understand that you can have, basically what you're doing is when you have when I have a line like this, and I have a line, basically a dot here and a dot here, and I run a line through those two dots. Okay? Well, anywhere that this line crosses right there, I can put a point there and use that point. In other words, where it crosses right at where the two lines intersect, I can use that as my slope. I can use that point to figure my slope. Okay? But in this one, it's just easy just to take those two points right there, connect them, and here's your run, and here's your rise. Yeah, you could take it and go here and here. Either way, it's going to be the same. Either way, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, so this is 6. Well, let's look at on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 on that side. Okay? And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So it's 8 and 8. So the rise is 6, run is 8. Okay, which means I have 3 over 4. So the slope is 3/4 for that line. And it's positive or negative. Draw your little guy. Positive, because he's walking uphill. Well, you're supposed to figure out by the numbers, okay? If I move this way, is right positive or negative? Positive. So that would be a positive 8. Then I moved this way, which would be positive 6. Okay? Well, what if you went the other way? Well, if I go this way, if I go down, that's negative, right? But if I go to the left, isn't that negative? And two negatives make a what when you have a fraction? A positive. So you could say this is negative 6 over negative 8. Well, that's still positive 3/4, regardless. But the easiest way to do it is go to the far left of the line and draw you a stick figure. Seriously. Okay, look. If I go to the far left of this line, the far left is here, draw me a stick figure. Is he walking uphill or downhill? Neither. He's walking on a flat surface. Okay? Now, is there a far left on this arrow here? No. Aren't they both the furthest left? So that's no slope. Can't draw a guy on there. He can't walk up the side of a building. Okay? He's not Spider-Man. Okay? Now, same thing up here. Same thing we did here. Far left of the line, if he's going downhill, it's negative. If he's going uphill, it's positive. That's the easiest way to do it, and that way you don't have to go, well, did I go left? Is that negative? Or I went up, and that's positive? Well, then all you got to do is go, okay, I went 1, 2, 3 this way, 4 this way, so it's 4 over 3. He's falling downhill, it's negative 4/3. Sit up. Okay? All right, let's look at some of the actual problems that you're going to see in the homework. Okay? Let's look at number 2. Look at number 2. Number 2, they've done all the work for you. Okay? You just got to tell them the slope. Well, they've already given you the rise and the run. So what is the slope for number 2? What, Jacob? 2 over 3. So it's rise over run. The rise 2, the run's 3. Now, here's this. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Okay? Put the guy on the far left on the line. It's positive slope. What about number 3? 3 over 4. Is it a negative slope or positive slope? Nope. Positive. Put the little stick figure on the far left. Is he walking uphill? Is she walking uphill? Okay. 3 over 4 is the slope there. Okay, what about number 4? Now this one they've done for you, they've told you it's a positive 2 and a negative 2. So they already told you what it's going to be as far as positive and negative goes. Okay? So is it negative or positive slope? Negative. And what is 2 over 2? 1. So the answer is negative 1. Okay? You can put it as a whole number if it's a whole number. Like if it's 3 over 1, you can put it as 3. Okay? I just leave it in fractional form because when you're manipulating the slope, you always want it in fractional form anyway. Okay. All right, let's go over to the other page. Or actually, look at number 5. Look at number 5. They're using slope to interpret a word problem. Number 5 says, the graph represents the distance that you traveled in a canoe over time. How far did you travel in 2 hours? 4 miles. Okay? So, then your slope would be how many you traveled in 1 hour. So if you traveled 4 miles in 2 hours, how much did you travel in 1 hour? 2. So your slope is 2 miles, or your rate is 2 miles per hour. Okay? And so that would be your answer to number 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 we just did. Okay? So it's not hard. It's not hard stuff. Huh? 3 over 4? No. All right. Now, on 7 through 12, it's basically the same thing. On 7, 8, and 9, they just want you to write whether it's positive or negative or no slope or 0 slope. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, let's look at number 10. I want you to do number 10. I want you to find the slope of number 10. So you're going to have to look at it, see where the points are, count your lines from one point to the other, get your run, and then get your rise. All right, who has an answer for me? Isaiah? No, you're close. You probably counted the actual point itself. No, it's not negative because it goes uphill. Jacob? 4 over 5. Yep, 4 over 5. Okay, and it's positive because it goes uphill. Now, remember, don't count. In other words, when we were counting a while ago, you don't start and go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. You don't start with the point itself. You start with the next line. Okay? Here's number 20. I want you to look at number 20 on the screen, and you'll do this. You'll do 20 through 23. You're going to, or excuse me, 18 through 23. You'll do on your graphs on the back of your paper. Those 4 little graphs. 20 says they give me the point 2 and 5, so I want to graph it. So, please don't do this right now. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, 2 and 5. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the point 2 and 5. My other point is 5 and negative 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. There's the other point. I realistically don't even have to draw the line between the 2 points. Okay, I'm going to, but you don't have to. There's your line. So now I'm going to connect the 2 dots. There to there. Okay, so now I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my rise is equal to 7. And I'm going downward, so that's negative 7. Okay? Now I'm going to the right. I don't count this one. I start here. 1, 2, 3. So my run is equal to 3. And it's a positive 3 because it's going to the right. And so my slope is equal to rise over run. So the slope then is equal to negative 7 over 3. And that's your answer. Isaiah? Yeah, you can put it on the big one. That's fine. Yeah, just put it on the big one. That one there. You can just put them right there. Huh? Yes. Yeah. Well, that means two of them are going to have 2 on it instead of 1. Or you can put it, if you didn't do anything here, you can put it here. Yeah. Just number them. Okay, just number them. If you just have the big graph, then put them all there on the big graph. Okay? Or if you've got, if you got this big graph on the back, just draw you 4 little separate ones on the back there. Either way. Okay? All right? So that's how you figure the slope. So what we're doing is this. We're going 8.3, and we're going to do 1. We'll do 1 through 20. Okay? 1 through 20. So that's only 3 of the, you only have to have 3 graphs, and that's it. And we've already done one of them for us. Okay? So 8.3, 1 through 20. Okay? Now, if you have your test corrections, you need to pass those up to the front of your row.